So, I'm going to be talking about why start a business in 2025, and so that's what we're going to be talking about on tonight. And again, I want to say thank you all for being here on this show on tonight. And this is actually kind of a, I guess you could say, like the beginning of a series of conversations that I'm going to have around starting an online business. So this is kind of like the start of it, and so it's kind of like foundational, I guess, as far as with this. So, like I said, this is kind of the first of a conversation. And so I'll come back and we'll talk about some other things. But on tonight, we're going to be talking about why start. I'm going to give you some reasons as to why you should start a online business in 2025. And whether you realize it or not, if you're creating content out there, uh, you may as well kind of consider that as a business. Maybe you have it as a hobby, right? Maybe you consider it as a hobby, but with content creation now, I mean everything now is online, and so you can center everything that you do around like an online business or things like that. And so that's kind of where I want to start this conversation on tonight. And I just want to give you a few reasons as to why you should start a business in 2025. Also, I'm going to show you a application that you can use um, where you can, like, say if you don't have a website, because I know some they may already have a website, right? You may already have a website, which is great. If you already have a website, but I want to share with you a application that you can use if you don't have a website. And as you saw my thumbnail, I got $0, and I meant that, right? I meant that $0 that you can start a online business with $0. And I hope you saw the poll question out there that I asked. Is it cheaper to start an online business or buy a iPhone or a new iPhone? And so we'll let y'all answer that. All right. So, why should you start a business? First of all, I want to let me just welcome some. I saw some in the chat uh, previously, and I know I had some previously in the chat, and I just want to welcome you all for being here on tonight. And if you do have an online business, or if you have let's say you're a creator and you're creating content, right? And you have a social channel or platform, I want you to put that in the chat, right? Because maybe somebody is interested in what you do. So, this is a good time for us to kind of share what we do or share our social handles. That way maybe some that's watching, they can look you up, maybe even follow you. And I'll even ask, of course, if you're not a subscriber or follower to this channel, this platform, go ahead and like this video, and also share this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. But if you do have a online business, or if you have a social platform or you create content, put that in the chat so that we can see it. And just want to, like I said, I want to welcome some of those that are here. Mr. Michael Flemings, appreciate you being here on this evening. And also we have Mr. Jeremy Reese, my good friend. Appreciate you being here, sir, as well. And thank you. I think he was the first comment that I saw that he couldn't hear me. So I appreciate you being there, sir. And looks like Wyatt's Worship is here as well. Appreciate you being here. And let me see who else. Faith Over Fear is also here. I want to say welcome to you and appreciate you being here as well. And like I said, this will just be a conversation. If you do have questions or if you have comments, go ahead and put those in the chat. If you do have a question, put a Q in front of it. That way I'll know it's a question and we can try to get that answered for you. Okay, so why start a business in 2025? Okay, so the very first reason relates to the thumbnail that I had. It is very low. It's a low startup cost to start an online business. It really is. It's low. I know a lot of times people be thinking that to start a business it costs a whole lot, which it can. When you think about it in the long run, and when you really want to start setting up a business, like when you start thinking of the legal entity and all these different things, website and all those type of things, those things they are going to cost. Of course, like I said, this is kind of like the ground breaking where you're kind of breaking into starting a online business, because a lot of people think that I gotta have everything in place, which is good, and you do need a plan. But if you're already you know selling things, like a lot of us, I know we start out maybe selling things like maybe to those local to us, right? Friends, family, those type of things. Even before we get a website, we're already like selling them, maybe even to the church, things like that. But why not take it a step further and take it online, right? So you can do that, digitally, right? And start selling things online. But the very first thing, or very first reason as to why you should start an online business, because right now it's still low startup costs. You don't have to worry about having a building, right? Maybe that is your plans, but I'm saying to start, right? You don't actually need a brick and mortar type building. Okay, you don't need that. You don't need a warehouse, big inventory, things like that. You really don't have to have that to start a online business. Like I said, maybe you'll get to that point, but for many starting online businesses, the cost is very low, right? And it's even cheap. And like I said, I'm going to show you a website that you can use where you can be selling products online, and it's free. It's free to use, right? It's free to use. Of course, there's other sources out there, even Canva, right? You can make t-shirts in Canva and have them shipped to you. Now, and I don't know if it's on the free plan, but I know you can do it on the paid plan. But I'm just saying it's very low cost to start a online business. So that's the very first reason as to why you should consider, right, starting an online business in 2025, because it's low cost. It's still pretty cheap, right? Also, you can do this, and this is what I would, of course, encourage for you not to, if you got a 9 to 5, don't quit it, until of course that 9 to 5, you don't need it, right? But you can start it as a side hustle and kind of work your way up. And it'd be work along with your 9 to 5 until you build it up. Okay, so that is probably the very first reason as to why you should start a online business in 2025, because it's low cost. Okay, and to answer that question on the poll, is it cheaper to start an online business or buy an iPhone? I think I don't have an iPhone, so. For those out there who don't know, I don't have an iPhone. I do have a Samsung, but they're around the same price. And I want to say last time I checked, iPhones was like $1,400, $1,200, somewhere there, depending on which one you get. If you get the Max, Pro Max, even Samsung, S25, I think that's the latest one out there, S24. They're expensive. They're like $1,200. Well, it will not cost you $1,200 to start. Now, like I said, I'm not saying you won't need that, in the short, long run to do your business, right? When you start, like I said, trying to set up, maybe you're trying to do an LLC, things like that. Yeah, of course, that's going to cost. But I'm saying, you're at the entry point, right? You're just starting. You came up with this idea. And you're thinking that, well, I need all of these other things in place. And that's good to think about that, also to have a plan. But you won't need $1,400 to actually start. I mean, you can start selling today if you wanted to. Okay? If you wanted to, you can start today. So, very first reason is low cost. Okay? Second reason start is, you got global access. Online, everything is online. Global access. You could be selling things around the world. Now, you may not do that starting out, but I'm just saying that's the potential, right? If you started a online store, you could be selling it to people in other countries, okay? Because that's the great thing about being online, right? You got global access. You got a worldwide audience to cater to, and so that is a definitely a motivation, right? To put yourself out there to sell to yourself. You don't just have to sell locally, right? You can go internationally. So that is a great reason to start, a online business in 2025. Okay, because you got global access, even national access. Maybe you're not gonna sell international, but maybe you just want to reach other states in the country, right? You have that ability when you are online. So it's something to think about, as you are, preparing or thinking about starting a business online. Do I want to do it internationally? Do I want to do it nationally? Right. And that's one of the great things about being online. I mean, who would have thought, right? Maybe 10 years ago that for many of us, I don't know, maybe 10, 12, 15, something like that, 15 plus years ago, who would ever thought that instead of driving to the store, we would rather just order it on Amazon and get it. Sometimes order on Amazon, you can get it the same day. You can order it in the early morning and it can be delivered, depending on what it is. It can be delivered in the early morning or in the afternoon. You can get it the same day. But who would ever thought that we would rather, I would say, go and purchase something online versus getting in our car and even driving to the grocery store for 5 minutes, but that's where we're at right now. And so if you're not online, if you're not looking to put your business online, you're really doing yourself a disservice, right? So you need to look for ways to, even if it's through your social channels starting out, right? You need to look for ways to put your services out there. Are you a coach? Coaches, or like I said, or you selling digital products or even selling physical products. Being online is the way to go. And how else will people reach you if you're not online? How will they reach you? Right? You got to be online in order for them to reach you. But you can do all of these things when you put yourself online. So that's the second reason, right? You got access globally to the whole world. And so that's a great reason to be online in 2025. Okay. All right. Now the next reason, of course, it kind of goes along with what I just said. More people are online. Everybody's online. Before people leave the house, they probably scrolled for 15 minutes or so, or even longer, right? So more people are shopping online. E-commerce is continuing to grow. Okay, e-commerce is continuing to grow, and so why not put yourself out there as one of the competitors in the e-commerce world? We make purchases even from our phones, right? Our mobile devices. For many of us, we do everything from our phone. We access our bank accounts. We pay bills through our mobile phones. We got all of these different applications that we use. And even there are applications for like online, services. If you had a business, there's applications you can use for your business, accounting and different things like that, where you can keep up and even reach your customers, right through your mobile phone. So everything and everybody's online, even groceries, right? We buy groceries online. That's what I was talking about earlier. Who would ever thought we'd be buying groceries online versus going to the store to pick your groceries? Some of us, we have others to bring our groceries to our doorstep, right? So that's where we're at. People are buying groceries online. They're using their services, putting them online, right? Like I said, maybe you're a coach. Maybe you sell Christian, merch, things like that. So if you're gonna do these type of things, you definitely need to be online, right? And so that's another reason why you should start your business online here in 2025, because everybody's online. We do everything online. I remember a few years ago looking how that I want to say it was like computers, compared to computers and mobile phones. At one point, people were still using their computers more than their mobile phones. I don't know the statistic, but I would say now today, I think more people are using their mobile phones over their computer because we take it everywhere we go. So I'm pretty sure the mobile phones or the mobile world is beating, our PCs on today. So everybody is online. So that is another great reason to start your online business, right, for 2025. Okay, so the next reason why you should consider putting your business online is because of the job market and economic uncertainty. And I don't know if you really know how this job market is right now, but it is not good. Of course, with AI, a lot of jobs are being taken by AI. Okay. Layoffs. There's companies laying off. I want to say I think it was IBM not too long ago, or something. I think it was like 8,000 people got laid off. So there's a lot of right now still economic uncertainty. And so today, it's almost as if you need two jobs plus a side hustle in order to make it. Of course, you got inflation, along with layoffs. So everything is increasing. So we have to figure out ways. We have to figure out ways to supplement some income. And you can do that through an online business, right? Whatever it is that you do, whatever is your service that you do. And that is something that I think we have to really look at and consider. What is it that I do? What is it that I like? What is it that I'm passionate about? As I stated, maybe you're a coach. If you're a coach and you counsel people, why not put your services out there for people to use? You should get paid for the services that you do. So why not put yourself out there as somebody that's providing a service to those that that are in need, right? But the job market and the economic uncertainty right now is a great reason to think about starting an online business, because right now it's still a lot of uncertainty. Right now, inflation, prices haven't come down. Gasoline, it's going up and down, up and down. But an online business, of course, like I said, that could be a way for you to kind of supplement some income, and make some extra money, make some gas money, make some grocery money. And maybe you may not find that super success overnight, but at the start, at the least, hey, if I can make enough to, I sold enough today to pay the water bill. That's great, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now, with the job market, and like I said, with economic uncertainty. Right now is the perfect time to consider, your skills that you have and those things that you're passionate about. It's a great time to consider an online business. And not with that, but think about it. If your business does take off, you don't have to worry about the 9 to 5, right? You'll be your own boss. Okay. And that would be a win-win for you if you are able to do that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Jeremy Reese. Definitely worth considering. It is. And as I stated, even for yourself, y'all, you and your wife, y'all have the channel there. Looking at ways to monetize your channel. For some of us, maybe, you do have a channel but you're not at the monetizing level, right? Until you reach those certain levels on the different platforms, you can't really, receive that, that monetization. But, there are ways you can monetize your channel, right? Maybe you can create a ebook, to different things that, you do, like I said, or things that okay? Let's say if you're a coach, counselor, things like that, you can create a digital ebook of, I don't know, maybe you're a chef, and you can create an ebook that has maybe some of your favorite recipes in it. But why not sell that ebook, right? Why not sell it? So that's something that you can do, and that's another reason that I have on here, to consider a online business, because you can make income, you can monetize it, right? You can monetize that channel. Even if you're a teacher, maybe you're a teacher, you can create digital courses or courses online. You can have a webinar where you are presenting whatever services, whatever skills that you have. So you could do that too. Or you got courses, you're a coach, you can do a webinar, you can create ebooks or some type of digital product. And so that is a reason to start an online business. Why not turn all of that knowledge that you got into a online business, right? Those things that you're passionate about, turn it into a business. And my next reason for why you should start an online business, because it's never been easier. Now, I think a lot of people may think that you really need to be super tech savvy to start a business. You got to be tech savvy. You got to know all of this, have all of this wealth of knowledge, when that's totally not the case. For many things that you want to do online, I know for myself, I go to YouTube and somebody has a great 5-10 minute video on how to do whatever it is that you want to do. So you can learn anything that you want to do right now. Even if it's something that you don't know how to do, you can learn it in a short span of time. So everything is online right now, and everything that you want to do or want to learn, it's accessible. Like I said, you can go right to the YouTube University, as we say, or listen to a podcast, or go to some of these different online communities, and you can learn whatever skill it is that you want to learn. If you don't know something, but it's really easy to learn how to create things. Like I said, you can create digital products right in. If you never use Canva, you can create digital products. And I talk about Canva quite a bit on my channel, but you can create a digital product right in Canva and be able to sell that product right, from the creation that you create. But now is the time. It's never been easier to really create a online business, right? You got YouTube, like I said, you got podcasts, you got all these different things that you can do, or that you can access, that can help you to ramp up your skills, if that's something that you're looking to do. So the information is out there. We just got to jump into it. I think sometimes too, and I'll say this too, that, success, it won't happen, or it may not happen overnight. Sometimes we think that, some things may happen overnight, or we'll start comparing ourselves to other people that may be further ahead of us, which, they are further ahead of us because they started out before us. But those type of things you don't have to worry about, because you'll be able to, the more you do it, the more you practice, of course, you'll get better at it. But, we all have to go through that learning curve, or, those growing pains. So, but that should not stop you. You shouldn't let that stop you because, maybe you don't know something, right? That information is out there. And a lot of times it's right there, accessible right there on YouTube for free. So that is another reason why, you can build a online business, right? Because the information is out there to build it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go ahead and share. I want to share with you this application that you can use actually to, let me get it up. Let me share my screen here. Again, I want to thank those that are able to join in on this conversation and watch this live on tonight. Appreciate you all sticking by even through the little hiccup we had at the start of this. All right, so this is PayHip. Okay, this is PayHip, and this is a site that allows you, as it says right here, right? You can sell digital downloads, courses, coaching, whatever it is. Even if you have physical products, maybe you sell T-shirts, things like that. You can do this all from this platform, and like my thumbnail says, and it's free. Now let me show you. So they do have a different little price structure there, right? They got a little price structure. They got a $29 plan. They got a $99 plan. But why do that? You know, you could do that, right? But you could do this. Like I said, this costs you nothing, right? The only thing you'll be paying is they charge. Of course, the transaction fee is a lot more under the free plan, but you get the same features as the others, except for you got to pay the little. Well, I won't say little, but you got to pay the 5% transaction fee. But PayHip will allow you to create, like I said, products and sell them. And like I said, maybe you don't have a website, but this is a way where you can share, the different products that you create. You can share these links online, through your social channels, through email, things like that. But let me get logged in, and I'm going to show you all this here in just a second. Give me 1 second. Let me get logged in, and I'll show you just an example of this. Alrighty. Let me go back. Okay. All right. Let me share screen here. Okay. So once you create an account on PayHip, of course, you put your information in. It's just like any other application that you use. You just put your information in, email, different things like that. But what you would do is you would go to this add products. And so, like I stated, you can create digital products. If you sell courses, you can sell a course. Maybe you have maybe like a service where you provide exclusive services, and you could create like a membership service plan where people pay through like a paywall. And like I said, even if you have physical products, you can sell physical products. And of course, you would put your information in to show where it's shipping from. But even if you have physical products, you can do that as well. Like I said, even if you're doing coaching services, you can provide those, and even you could bundle these services as well, right? But let's say you want to create a digital product. Of course, you just upload the different digital products, where maybe it's a file, maybe it's like I said, an ebook, just some things like that. You upload that, of course, create a title, put your price in there, put your image in there, put your detailed description in there. And once you do that, of course, you want to make it visible. You just add the product, and that product now is going to be in your PayHip account. And let me show you kind of what that looks like, right? So this is just kind of an example. I created this, right? This, of course, is my little journal I created, which is available on Amazon. But here's also a T-shirt, right? So, like I said, if you have physical products, you could do this, right? But this is what your store would look like, and they actually give you a link for your store, and you'll be able to share that link. You can share that link online. So whatever products you create, right? You'll be able to share that link online. And I'm just saying, for those that maybe, like I said, maybe you don't have a website. Well, this is a good way for you to kind of, get things started, right? And I'm just giving you this information because, I don't want sometimes people, allow certain things to kind of hinder them. So if you didn't have a website, this is kind of like I said, this is kind of maybe a way to kind of do an introductory way for you to have, some online products, digital products, or you could provide it online. Like I said, you could share the link to your store. This will be your store. Of course, it's got like a little about page. There's mine's. But you would be able to share this link anywhere, right? Like I said, you can share it on your social channels. You can share it in email and all of that, right? And just imagine, what if you had like an ebook for, if it was $12, right? If you could make a sale a day, how much more would that better you if you were able to, sell these products, right? And that's kind of how, we got to look at it. We can't let some things hinder us, right? Like I said, the information is out there for us to, to do this. We just have to, get proactive and do it. But PayHip, like I said, it's free. Start an account. It's free to set it up. You don't have to pay anything. Zero, right? Only thing you pay, of course, like I said, well, all the sales that you make, whatever sale you make, they're going to take 5%. Now, I don't know. It just depends on what the price of your product is, where that 5% is going to come out. And of course, you just have to look at that and say, weigh the pros and cons to see, is that more beneficial, to do it that way. But again, this costs you nothing, right, to get started. So I wanted to just share that, and just for those that are watching, just so that you can see that, this is doable. Okay. It is doable for me to, start an online business, right? Like I said, you could use PayHip. You can use PayHip and create your products, create your whatever services that you offer, and you're good to go. But it's available out there, and there's other sites out there as well, I believe, that can offer, or allow you to sell digital products. PayHip is not the only one. This is just one that, I've used. And so it's not the only one. But like I said, this is one that's out there. Of course, like I said, you can go to YouTube. And of course, I'm sure there are plenty of people that can share some other applications that you can use out there. But I just wanted to share that, to those that, that are on my channel, that look, this is doable. Okay. To get you started, it's doable. Like I said, and I think a lot of times, even for myself, we have to look for ways to better ourselves. Okay. We got to look for ways to better ourselves. Yes, sir. Mr. Jeremy. Yes, sir. We have to look for ways to better ourselves, like I said, the information is out there. A lot of times we're just sometimes unaware of it, and we just don't know about it. But it's out there, right? It's out there. And like I said, that's free. This is free. So again, I'm trying to give no excuses for us, right? To get ourselves started and to be able to start an online store. And like I said, this conversation, this is kind of the start of things of this. And like I said, this is going to be kind of an ongoing series of a conversation that we'll talk about, and that I'm going to talk about. Of course, I'm going to also talk about in the future, in the near future, just some different online platforms. Maybe you want to start a e-commerce, right, where you actually have a online store, where I'm going to talk about some different platforms, of course, that you can use, like Shopify, things like that. So this is kind of going to be like I said, an ongoing conversation. Like I said, I do appreciate all of those who were able to tune in and stick around. Like I said, even through our little hiccup that we had at the beginning where I had no sound. However, like I said, we'll be coming back. I'm going to try to come back again next Monday. Just, again, centered around this same topic of online, starting an online business. So again, I want to thank those that were able to watch. Yes. Thank you for being here. Latasha Hill, thank you for being here. And White's Worship, thank you for being here as well. Appreciate you all. And but like I said, yeah, this will be a series of a conversation where we just kind of talk about this. And of course, like I said, if anybody has questions on this, of course, you can hit me up on any of one of our social channels. I'm on, of course, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can send me an inbox message or even email from our website. But that's what I wanted to kind of provide on today. Just some information on starting, or why start a online business in 2025. Like I said, It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's low cost. Of course, we got the economic and job market that's going on. Now everybody's online, so you need to be online as well. So I hope this encourages you to, kind of figure out what it is that you do, what you're passionate about, what things maybe, what type of people can you serve, or different things like that. So again, this will be an ongoing conversation. So thank you all for being here on tonight. I appreciate you joining and watching. And hey, we'll see you all in the next video. So take care, God bless, and thank you again. We'll see y'all in the next one.